All right, ladies. All right, I don't know what happened. Finally, we're live. It just kept swirling and swirling and swirling. So I'm not sure what happened. I know it's not my internet. So, how is everybody? Hey, Sheila. Sorry about that. Never fails, right? Hope everybody's doing good. Pretty warm out today. Got some work done. Got some baskets loaded for my cards the next couple of days. And tonight we have our mystery card. All right. So I'm just going to wait a few seconds until everybody that was, hey, Mimi Cakes, good, you found us. Gonna wait to see if Margaret shows up because she usually there she is. Hello, Margaret. Good girl, you found us. So just a little housekeeping first. The 19th, if there's any stamp sets that you are interested in getting, um, they'll be 15% off on the 19th. And don't forget the designer series paper sale. Just so to keep yourself aware, if there's anything out there that you need, now is the time to get it. All right, so let's go over our list of supplies. If you were one of the first ones, hey Sharon, hey Paula, if you were one of the first ones to download the Clue bonus days coupon, that's right. Thank you. It did say clue number 2. It's not clue 2. It's clue number 1. Okay, so we needed 4, and I'm just going to put this over here. We needed 4 basic white or, oh, that one's a small one. 4 basic white or very vanilla, depending on what you wanted to use, measuring 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. Okay. Then we needed another basic white measuring 2 by 2. Then we needed some basic black. And we needed 5 basic black, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And guess what? I didn't do 5. And then we needed 1 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then your favorite color, cardstock. And I picked Melon Mambo, and that is 8.5 by 5.5. A piece of copy paper, 5 1/4 by 4. And then 2 pieces of basic white, 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, so those are all your pieces. Give me 1 second. I need to cut one more basic black, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Nothing like being short, right? I don't know how I missed that. All right, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. There we go. Quick and easy. All right, so let's get started. This is a really quick and easy card, actually. So we're going to start with our favorite cardstock color, the 8.5 by 5.5. And of course, we are going to score it at 4 1/4. So this is our card base. So I'm just going to fold and burnish. Okay, so there's our card base. And we're going to just put that aside. Now we are going to grab that's on my copy paper, our basic white layer. Okay, this is going to be on the front of our card. And I wanted you also to grab some coordinating ink. So I grabbed the Melon Mambo for my card base. And I also grabbed Cherry Cobbler and Granny Apple Green because I decided to grab the two-tone Flora because we needed ink the same color as your favorite cardstock. So that was the Melon Mambo, our copy paper, and a stamp set with an image that we could stamp on our small little basic white square, the 2x2. All right, I'm just going to make sure this is the 2x2, and it is. So I decided that I was going to use this flower from the two-tone Flora, okay? And I am actually going to start with the shadow. It's easier to see when I stamp the shadow first. So I am going to ink up my stamp. I'm actually going to put it this way. All right. So there's my shadow. And that is Cherry Cobbler. And then I'm using my Melon Mambo. Whoops. Just got ink on my hand, of course. And where is my paper towel? I'm going to get a baby wipe. This has been an inky week, for sure. I have gotten ink all over this week. All right. So I am going to grab my Melon Mambo. And if you remember with this stamp, these middle pieces, the stamen, I guess they're called, line up with the stamen on the shadow piece. So I'm just going to ink that up. And I'm going to stamp my image. I just want to make sure I get this in here right. And there's my flower. So right now we are stamping our image on the 2x2 piece of cardstock. And I'm going to add a couple leaves. I'm going to put the second one right here. All right, so right now you should have your image on that 2x2 piece of cardstock. Okay, now I'm just going to grab my other pieces, and they're right here in front of me. So while that ink is drying, I am going to take out my 4 basic black, and they are the 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and we are going to, believe it or not, we are just going to adhere these basic white squares onto our basic black. If you want, you can emboss these. You can add images to them, but we really want this to be our focal point. So if you want to emboss them, now would be the time to emboss them. Okay. And I'm just thinking I'm going to, do I want to emboss them? Let's emboss them. What the heck? It'll take 2 seconds, right? And I think I'll use the quatrefoil. And I'm actually going to line these up. I can actually put all 4 of them in at the same time. So all I have to do is run it through once. All right. So I'm going to emboss these. My embossing folder is a little warped. So let's get these in here and run them through. Okay, so I use the quatrefoil embossing folder. Okay. And we're just going to adhere these to our basic black squares. I'm just going to make sure I get my glue right at the edge. And of course, my glue Thank you, Jason. I didn't see you come in, Karen. How are you? All right, so we're just going to adhere these to these basic black squares. And I'm just going to try to get it on here as even as possible. Where we have this nice black mat, and the white on top, if it's on there pretty crooked, it's going to be noticeable. So I'm going to just try to get this on here as straight as I can. Whoops. And then one more. All right. So now all our squares, like I said, you don't have to emboss. Come on, move over. There we go. All right. So you don't have to emboss them if you don't want. Ah, thanks, Stu. All right. So there we go. Now, the little square that you stamped your image on, we are going to adhere that to our last square. And I'm just going to do the glue very lightly so it doesn't show through. Get it on here even. Okay. And then now we're going to pull in our basic white piece. Now remember that copy paper I told you, 5 1/4 by 4? I want you to fold it in half as even as you can. And then I want you to fold it in half again. All right, so now we have a rectangle, and we want to get this as straight as we can. And I'm going to do this again to make sure my edges are I'm just going to fold this in one more time. Make sure that it is pretty straight. Okay, so now you can see it is 1/4 of this 5 1/4 by 4. And what we're going to use this for is we are going to lay this up in the top left-hand corner. We're going to grab the image that we stamped, and this piece is going to center our square. So if we line up the point at the edge of this paper, and then we line up this left point at this edge, we know that that's going to be the center of our card. Okay? So we're just using this as a template. So I am actually going to add some glue. And again, I'm going to hold this in place so it's lined up at the top edge and the side. I'm going to get my image and line it up. Let's scoot it down a little bit. Take this piece out. And now we can actually test it to see if it's even. Okay? This would be, we'll scoot this down a little bit if I can. It might be on there good now. There we go. Let's scoot it a little bit. All right, so that's better. And that's better. And it's off a hair down here at the bottom. Okay, so that is how we would get our piece centered with that little 5 1/4 by 4-inch piece of scrap paper. Okay, so now we have our image in the center of our card. And we are now going to grab our squares, okay, and we're going to add some glue, and we are going to add this, and I want to make sure I have enough glue, leaving a little bit of a gap. I should have my silicone mat, and we're going to adhere that square like that. We can actually do it this way. We'll add the glue here. And then we're going to add this one just like this, leaving about the same amount of space. Let's turn it again. Grab our next piece. I'm going to add some glue in here. And about the same distance away. And then we're going to put the last piece right here. So I'm just going to add my glue. Since I didn't grab my silicone mat, we'll just add the glue like that. And then we're going to take this piece, whoops, just get some of that glue out of there. And again, get it about the same distance away and glue it down. Okay, so now we have all our pieces attached to the front of our card. And I'm just going to get a scrap piece of paper because I have glue naturally on my table here. I just don't want it to get all over. All right, so now we're going to grab our scissors, or you could do it on your cutter, and we are going to cut, and I cut from the back, so I can see this basic white layer. And we're going to cut off all the extra. Now, like I said, it would probably be easier on your trimmer. But we're just cutting off right up against the 5 1/4 by 4. And then one more. Just get rid of these pieces. And then here is the front of our card. Okay. Now let's grab our basic black piece. That's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And we are going to adhere the layer we just worked on to this basic black layer. Making sure it is on here straight. Okay. And then we can pull in our card base. And add this to the front of our card. All right. Now you could add, I don't think I have any ribbon that'll match, but you could add a ribbon or anything you want. And then we have the inside of our card. And Two-Tone Flora does not have any sentiment, so I'm actually going to grab my ink and I'm going to put this flower over here in this corner. So that was Cherry Cobbler. Here's Melon Mambo. I'm going to ink it up. Line up those pieces if I can see them. I need to clean my stamp. I think I'm off a little bit. Oh, maybe not. And then let's get that leaf in some Granny Apple Green. And I'll put one there, one there, and I'll add another one here. And where this is just a basic white layer, I'm not going to glue. I'm going to grab my seal and add some seal. And then add this to the center of the card. All right. And there you have it. Just a few pieces. The name of the stamp set is Two-Tone Flora. And it has different size flowers. I always forget about this set. But this is really pretty. All right. So there you go. Our mystery is solved with all these different pieces. I will have the blog post ready. Sorry about the technical issues again. I don't know what happened to YouTube. Oh, you're welcome. So have a wonderful, thanks, Mimi. Have a great night. I hope you like tonight's card. And like I said, I'll have a post with all the directions and the link to the video in case you need to see it again. And I will see you probably Wednesday night because I will not be home on Thursday. So I'll talk to everybody soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye bye.